I'm in it for the long run. I still ain't figured this out, man. She say she got the answers. I still ain't figured this out. He say he got the cures. I still ain't figured this out, man.
I'm in it for the long haul. I ain't worried about your time limits, divine spirit.
And welcome to another episode of the Crappy Awesome Podcast. It's your host, Kill C. Ray. Man, we're back again. Another dope episode this week, man. A really great friend of mine. I consider him fam. Been trying to get him on the show for a minute. His name is King Dice. Yo, King Dice is in the area, man. Yo, dude, how you been, man?
I've been good. You know, all things considered.
Right. Yeah, I as soon as we brought Crappy Awesome back, I put you on the list of like the first few episodes that I wanted to get because I know you never shy away from expressing your opinion when it comes on to like social issues, and you have some strong philosophies on it, and I just love building with you on it, man. So I had to get you on the list. That's why you're here today, man. I wanted to just talk to you. First, you're good at you and the family. Everybody's good.
Yeah. I had a friend of mine who actually came down with COVID-19. So that's
Wow.
different, you know, for it to be like on the news and all that, and then go from that to actually, you know, hitting home someone that I know personally and real close friends with me. So, you know, but I mean, other than that, you know, I believe he's doing well right now. So yeah, you know, everything's good.
Yo, do you feel how is it, because I know you live kind of in a is it considered a rural area? Like out where
I'd
you
say
live,
that.
kind of. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
How is how is it there? How's like is there tension? Is there, what are you seeing as far as everything that's going on right now?
You know, I think there's a lot of people in this area who are non-believers.
Yeah.
So they're the people who don't want to wear masks,
Oh
who
wow.
are telling their kids. You know, I work with kids, so the kids are telling me that, oh yeah, my mom says this is uh, a plan created by Bill Gates or some crazy shit like that.
Yeah. I've heard that one lately.
Yeah, so it's, you know, we get a lot of that, but I mean, you know, I feel like sometimes it takes someone you know personally coming down contracting COVID-19 for you to understand that this is real.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, do you think that it's as far as like the protests and the stuff that has cracked off as of late, do you feel your area is taking that serious?
yeah, you know, we had a peaceful protest the
Mm-hmm.
other day. There was no damage, no looting, no rioting. But you know, I live a stone's throw away from Ukaipa, California, and they were it was all over social media that there was like pretty much like a small KKK rally is my understanding of it. A lot of
Wow.
people saying like, you know, don't bring that over here to Ukaipa. And uh, for the few people that actually were protesting in Ukaipa at the time, it seemed to me like they were antagonizing them. So it was rough. That's the sort of atmosphere here in this area.
Yeah, is it what's the like ethnicity breakdown out there?
I would say that uh, not just going off what I think.
Uh-huh.
I'd say
Sure.
probably like 30 to 40% like Latina in this
Mm-hmm.
area. Maybe 30 to 40% uh, Black in this area, and then maybe 20% white in this area. Um, but you know, it's a high contrast to like just the next city over,
Yeah.
where those numbers are flipped and it's majority white people. It's more of an affluent area.
Mm.
Um, and then, you know, like Ukaipa is probably similar to that. So it's really weird in this specific area because I think it's like a culture clash. You know, we have people who are
Right.
living less than a mile apart but have vastly different ideas on politics and COVID-19 and things that really shouldn't be politicized, like Black Lives Matter.
Right. Right. Is it do you feel like when you go out to the store and stuff, like how is because I talked to 60 East yesterday and or actually the day before. And I was just telling him a story about how I went to Walmart and I was just walking into Walmart and there was some dude going off talking about I'm not going to wear my mask, fuck you guys, blah 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 blah. Um, and unlike before, in my neighborhood, normally people would kind of see it and just be like, yeah, and just walk by and let security guards take care of it or whatever. That day, it literally, I'm talking old people, kids, people started like surrounding this dude. Like you can feel the tension on like somebody. I definitely have those friends that are like on edge that if you say the wrong thing right now, like you might get socked. Like people are tense. How does it feel out there where you're at?
Yeah, I it's really hit or miss.
Yeah,
Again, with this area, so these two areas that are vastly different demographically, we share the same like grocery stores.
oh wow,
So like the town that I live in is so rural that we don't have a grocery store in our city. So we
yeah,
go to their city. So grocery stores like Walmart are where these two drastically different people tend to meet.
yeah,
Um, so on any given day, it could be everyone masked up and no issues, or it could be um, a non-mask rally.
yeah,
The opposite. So it's crazy. It's really like you never know what you're gonna get, and I
yeah,
think a lot of people who are trying to stay sane are just staying home. We're going out as little as possible. So
yeah. Are you included in that?
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. I mean,
Um.
I'm back to work, so I go out for work and all that. But if I can avoid it, I'm at the house self quarantine.
Yeah. How about artistically, man? You're an artist, a creative. Has this affected your creativity at all? Like how has this affected it?
Man, it's a little, I've seen some different points of view, and I really don't know where I land specifically, but like, some people were saying like, now isn't the time to
Yeah.
really be releasing music.
Uh-huh.
And I feel that. I feel that when there's so many important things and causes going on, it makes me feel a little guilty to
Yeah.
think that I should try to take away from that to promote my single or something. But
Uh-huh.
then you got the other side where people are saying like, this is the time where artists shine. We need to capture this moment and record it for history for the future,
Right.
and use this energy to promote something. Let it fuel some sort of cause. I get that too. So for me personally, I've been working, but not really releasing my own music. I'm letting it fuel some of my future projects. But I mean, primarily, I've been doing a lot of features and nothing really related to the things that are going on.
Yeah. And so where are you at like personally? Do you feel like making music at all? Like because I feel you on that, dude. Like I had a long talk with Curtis King and
Mhm.
I asked him like specifically, like, what do you think we should be doing right now? Like I know I was feeling uninspired to like go through the process of like sitting, recording, doing all this while what I was watching on TV was happening. Right? Like I
Right.
felt and I wasn't having that immediate connection of like, oh, I need to make a song about this. Even that, I mean, I'd be lying if I haven't seen some cringe-worthy things online of people promoting, right? And it's this like fine balance. But he said this, and I would say that you're included in this is you don't make bullshit, man. Right? And I told Noah too, like we were having the same conversation, and I was like, dude, if people like your music, right? Say there's just a kid who likes your music, he's in this world with you right now, he's out there protesting, and if you were his favorite artist and all of a sudden you just stop making music, that
Right.
shit that shit sucks, man. I mean, you know how all the tools as a creative you use to get yourself through these things. Everybody doesn't have that. And secondly, I also think you being like we need our generals on the field.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so you're, by practice and by skill that you've built up, you have this ability to look at things, break them down, and try to find different perspectives in them. It's just what you do. You're an artist, and I think we
Right.
need that too. You know what I mean? Like what? Because otherwise, the kids, because that's who's mostly out there, right? Like it's the youth that we really have to like protect.
True.
They're out there, and they need some sort of guidance. They need some sort of like theme of which way they should be leaning. You know what I mean?
Yeah, big facts. I agree with that. I agree with that. Um, you know what? Where my mind has been lately has been on like what comes next. You know what I mean?
I hear you. I hear you.
The protesting, the rioting, all that gets us so far, but there has to be a concerted like next step. And for me, which I've been thinking about a lot lately, I think that comes in the form of, especially for young people of color, financial independence.
Yeah, I hear
That,
that.
it's really hard to make that sound dope in music. It can be done. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I look to people like Nipsey or like Jay-Z's 444,
Right.
um, projects or artists and people who made songs that really talk about ownership and what you should do with money and made it sound dope. So that's kind of where my mind is. When you hear something from me, I think that's what you'll hear, something like that.
That's dope, man. Yeah, I think that's it's just important. I think it's um man, if if you didn't make music that I thought would help, I would not be telling you that. I'd be like, yeah, dog, like just wait till after.
Right.
So do you feel like what are your thoughts on like some of these issues that are out right now, like defund the police? There's issues of individual counties starting to like put their attention towards their police and understanding like how most of these departments are fueling the majority of the budgets, right? In city, I'm from San Diego. I think they control like 75% of the budget, and it goes all to police. So I mean, how do you feel about like some of the stuff that people are talking about right now?
So I live in Riverside County, which is one of the largest counties in the state.
Yeah,
Especially when you combine that with San Bernardino County in making the IE. Um, I push for more local policing. In addition to defunding, I'm with defunding to an extent, but I think we really need to push local policing. Like, when someone doesn't grow up here, doesn't grow up in a poverty-stricken area, doesn't understand the plight or what people are doing here to survive, and they come from some affluent area that's within the same county but far away, they bring those biases to the job, and I think that's part of the reason we see a lot of the issues that we're seeing today. Now, if instead of like fuck the police, we inspired kids to want to become police in their own neighborhoods, I think we could see a change because police aren't going to disappear.
right.
Funding the police is a good idea and a good first step, but regardless, police are going to be here. So let's instead of pushing the concept through music of like fuck the police, let's inspire young people to want to become police and do a good job. Bring honor back to the job. I think that's
Yeah,
my mindset with it.
yeah. It's weird. I've been having these conversations lately with people, and it's weird when, well, one, I think that the whole movement, right, could use, and this is why I think there's so much opportunity for people, especially creative people. Like the whole movement could use better marketing as a whole.
Right.
Simply because there are things that, like I've been using that example of defund the police as one of the examples because I know what it means, but I've done my due diligence.
Mhm.
The fact is that there's also an older generation who just hears that and they're like, "Oh, what? No more police! Like,
No
what the
cops.
right?"
Right.
And so that's bad. We need to fix that, right? Like, that's
Yeah.
not, we're not doing justice to the message if people are confused. So that shows me like, okay, we still have work to do just on our message overall. Like, but
Right.
I also feel like, it's just a tip of the sword. There's so much that at least I could see happening for the rest of the year and into next year. The things we still have to get to, right? Like, people aren't talking about the fact that there are going to be mass evictions. That's going to happen simply because people aren't going to be able to pay that back rent, right?
Right.
And what's that going to do to our society? And have we planned for that? Because I think one of the things that the youth have been at least showing me is like they have an understanding of, or at least a want to plan things better, right? Like they're putting at least some thought into that, and I think they need to be given some more direction in that area because, like you, I believe too, like the protests are necessary. First of all, like nothing in this country has ever changed without
Right.
some sort of physical protest, but we are at our technological peak right now, right? And for us to not be thinking about the future and how we can really implement these things, because at some point, this conversation simply comes down to a group of people in this country deciding whether or not their lives are so good that they would be willing to give up a little bit of that of the stuff they have in order for things to be evened out, right? And you and I both know, like, just to get like that as a person, to even have those thoughts as a person, dude, it's taken me my whole life to become the person that I am right now. We need to
Right.
figure out more, like, we need to be having bigger conversations on, like, yo, you do understand after this is all said and done, we still have to change fundamentally. Like, we
Yeah.
still have to understand, like, we cannot have this country just give us everything we want just to shut it up,
Right.
because
Right.
that's what this country has done in the past,
Yeah. Pacification, definitely.
Yeah,
When you pacify the people, and what we know is that pacification works, and I think the people who are in
absolutely.
charge know that as well. So it's a hurdle trying to get the. We're gonna have to help the younger generation who's never experienced this. They weren't around in the civil rights era and may not know what we know about it. That
Right.
they're gonna try to pacify you. Don't settle. Don't settle. Like
Yeah.
that's a tough message to learn when you've never experienced that or gone up against it, or don't even their parents. The kids that I teach, their parents are around my age,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's interesting. I find them falling prey to the disinformation that's on the internet. Like the shit that I
Right.
hear parents tell their kids, the shit that I hear parents, the shit that I see parents post on Facebook or social media lets me know that, like, it's scary. It's a scary ass world that we're in because the people who are supposed to be making this world better for the next generation, sometimes they don't even know if unicorns are real or not. And that's a specific example that's true as fuck. A parent tried to tell me that unicorns are real.
Wow. Wow. I mean, yeah, dude. I was hanging out with my cousins yesterday, and we were just kind of we hadn't seen each other in a minute, and the three of us were talking about um, how, like, if it's weird when you start talking to, like, these conspiracy theorists, or and here's the thing, dude. I am not void of conspiracy thoughts in my life, right?
Right.
However, my idea of handling this in the best way is, okay, if say COVID is a created government thing, cool. Not saying that that's what it is. I'm saying if that's what it is.
Right.
Isn't that just as fucking scary? Like, why
Right.
would, to me, it's almost scarier. Like, I could deal with, like, oh, nature happens, but
Yeah.
but for it to be like, say, like our government or some powers that be, I think that's pretty scary, and it's a reason to take it serious, anyways, right? Like, if because I was watching the Trump rally the other day, and they were interviewing some lady, and some lady said, she was like, they were asking her about her mask, and she's like, yeah, I brought a mask, but then Trump reminded us that, like, Jesus loves, Trumpers. So I threw my mask right in the trash. Like, the separation of reality is big right now, man.
Right.
And dude, I am not. I was telling my cousins, I am not. I could definitely see waking up tomorrow. I'm like starting to have the thoughts like we're gonna wake up tomorrow and like Godzilla's gonna be downtown or some shit because shit's getting crazy. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, it's weird.
Yeah, it definitely feels like this is some movie shit. This is some. I
Yeah.
was watching World War Z. I was like, damn, they predicted 2020. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
dude. You know what? You know what else did? Is this on that? Like, I know you're a movie dude too. X-Files, the first X-Files movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, it's almost spot on. Like, it's
Right,
almost spot on. Like, they were predicting this whole thing. I just finished watching it, but yeah, dude, I think it's, first of all, like, I think one of the things that, you know, people who like delve into, you know, conspiracies is one, the pandemic, if it is not man-made, it is a very natural thing that has happened many times on this planet, and
Right.
people have dealt with this before, right? I always tell the story about how if we think right now is crazy, I was reading a book about the Great Depression, and and how, like, in rural areas they would literally put up billboards and signs that said it, like, explained the why you shouldn't eat your kids. Like, literally, you can look this up. This is real shit. Because people were doing this. Kids would die and they would eat. Like, you can't eat people. Like,
Right.
that was not that long ago. It was still 19 something. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that was just a while ago. So when I see the crazy shit now, and like people are like, "Yo, man, things are falling apart," I was like, "Dude, we've been there before." Like, you know what I mean? This is relatively tame right now. The fact that we went from violent protest to peaceful protest within like a week span
Yeah.
was fucking amazing, and I'd never seen that in my lifetime. But that
Right.
does show like we're in different times, and things are not as bad as they seem all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like, you know, I sometimes wonder, like, can we learn from the past? Like, I know that's the whole idea behind, you know, learning history so it doesn't repeat itself. But it's like, I was reading a story the other day about a place called Marseille, and this is during like the tail end of the plague, and they basically were untouched. They never had any cases of the plague. They had one single time where the plague got through their defenses, and it happened to be the worst time. But for almost three to 400 years, they had no cases of the plague, untouched, and that they did it through social distancing.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, yeah. And we think we're just like, we just invented this.
Right, we have
Yeah.
the answer. It's right there. The one
Yeah.
time they let a ship come into their bay and dock for some reason. I think they had some kind of like a lot of money or something like that. And the one time they let down their defenses, like, okay, we're not going to check you out. We'll let you. But the one time they caught the plague,
Wow.
but social distancing, that's the key. It's not a secret. We have it. We have historical precedent where it works, and we still have to try to convince people that they don't even believe that it's real. That this is an actual thing that's happening. It's sickening sometimes. It's crazy.
So what about where are you at with this fucking dude? We're still gonna have an election.
Right.
That shit is like just a little while. It's right around the corner. Like, where are you at with all that?
Yeah, you know, it's wild, man. Like, I haven't heard anything about any of the Democratic candidates, or any like debates coming up, and it's you know, a lot of people are struggling with the mail-in ballots and how it's going to work, and you know, it's frightening to me that it feels like voter suppression. Like, I'm not saying that this COVID-19 was planned for voter suppression,
Right.
but I feel like the wheels are turning on whatever political party, maybe both. I feel like they're turning on ways that they can stop people from getting the vote out. I hear a lot of disinformation about, like, oh, well, there won't be an election. In an event of an emergency, Trump stays president, and just so much disinformation that's getting out there, and people are, you know, once it's solidified in their mind, they're not really open to new information. And I think all of that's gonna kind of stop the idea that there's an election happening. You can mail in your ballot. the real information is being stopped by all of these rumors and conspiracy theories. And it's a scary world we live in. It's a scary world we live in.
Fuck, man. Yeah. Like I was watching Biden give a speech the other day, and I was like, what the this is the other option? Like it's fucking, I don't know, man. It's crazy to think that in all of this that we're still going to expect the country to think clearly and try to like pick their future in the middle of all this, when like it, and it does seem like, I heard someone say the other day, like it feels like the election is like being forced upon us because we're in the middle of a discussion.
Right.
Like we're having a discussion, right? And now we're gonna have to put that to the side a little bit and decide, which one of these two, possibly lesser of two evils,
right,
is the way to go, right? And I look, my current thought right now. This is my current thought, and I wish there would be more activists talking about this. It's let's get Trump out all costs, right? Like that's a good plan. Get Trump out all costs. But then as soon as whoever we put in there, we need to put their feet to the fire, and like, because they're going to think it's all good. Oh, cool. Trump's gone. Now we can get on to normal. No. Right. You're going to have to field all this shit now. Now you're not even our friend until we know that you're going to do the things that we need to. If not, it's on again. And I think that we need to have those kind of discussions, and we need to hear, like, say, Biden addressing that. We need to force that issue on him. Like, do you think it's going to be all good just if you win? Because we're going to just say it's your turn now to fix this shit. Like, getting Trump out, I think, is just a step. You know what I mean? Right. Yeah, man. I don't know.
I'm still trying to convince people to vote. That's crazy that, still in 2020, there are people, especially young Black people, young people of color, who think that their votes don't matter. And, they don't even plan on going to the polls. And I'm like, bro, this is why everything fucking sucks. Like, you cannot just sit here and let shit happen to you. You have to be active. And it's like, it's crazy because I can't understand why people, I don't know, they're not taking control of their own lives.
Yeah,
it seems like it's an uphill battle, especially when there's celebrities and people who are have a lot of pull for some reason. Nick Cannon comes to mind. He's been a big advocate of Black people not voting, and even if you don't vote, the election still goes on. It's at that point you've taken yourself out of the equation. So no matter what, you won't get what you want. That's wild to me that people are not understanding this.
Yeah, it's I feel like it's like the fabric of reality is slowly just on. You know what I mean? Like it's like I said, I will not be surprised. My money right now is aliens are next. That's where my money's at. If I have to put a bet down, I'm like, we are definitely gonna wake up and be like, oh shit, motherships. All right, let's go. Like, it feels like nothing is out of the question. I heard they're like trying to who was it? I think Joe Rogan was saying that there's like this huge movement that's gaining some weight on it, like to get The Rock to run for the president, right? So if we're at this point, right, where we're looking for an action star to come and save us, this ain't real, bro. We're in a video game. Right. We're in a video game.
Right. This is like simulation theory confirmed.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Like you're just gonna wake up, boom, like, oh shit, that was a good game. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like this thing is it's interesting because I see that people are wrestling with the idea of change, right? Because that's what it is. I mean, Americans. I'm not even just going to blame it on, but obviously America leads in this area. But when you have things that are relatively comfortable, for a lot of the country, right, it's very hard for them to think about, one, why we need change, right? Because a lot of them are like, it's not at my front door. You know, how bad could it be? And
Right.
especially on the it's interesting because it's especially on the coasts, right? Like the coasts always have had this um lack of a reality when it comes to looking at the rest of the country. We tend to think that everybody's doing what we're doing, right?
Right.
But I was saying, for instance, if say like you are a coal miner, right? And you live in some rural area, or your family has raised steer their whole life, and now they can't get steer are dying on the farm because there's no infrastructure to push the meat out and blah blah blah. For you, it is ending, right? Like for that
Right.
person, they think, yeah, this is Armageddon. Shit's crazy right now. And that will inevitably, if there isn't some sort of educational component to their ideas, will inevitably just lead to craziness. It's just math. You know what I mean? Like they're trying to get a grip on their reality and trying to hope that it doesn't fade away. But the reality is where the country has failed is that we've sold an idea that like a lot of these, like even the police, right? I look at the police actually, like I look at coal mining. It is a job that we created at a certain time, right? We've invested money into it. However, it is no longer producing what we needed to produce, and we've had innovation since then. It is absolutely okay to go back and look at the investment and go, all right, let's change this so that we can continue to invest in something better. That leap, though, I've realized is huge for people, right? The idea that, oh shit, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and the cops are gonna be wearing light blue instead of dark blue, and their guns aren't gonna be on their waist. They're gonna be like just the ideas of those things scare the shit out of people. And it's weird because I'll look at one of my favorite things, dude, right now, you got to do this by the way, is I watch Australian news. So Australian news, this is why, because they're not I've noticed that their news doesn't like inject a lot of like the emotion. It's very like cut and dry. Here's what's happening. This is what it is. Not a whole lot of opinion. But when they report about America, it's literally like big red alert, like the world hangs on what America is doing right now, right? There's all these countries that are literally looking at us as if they don't get, or the movement anyways, if the movement doesn't get some sort of positive reaction, then it's over for all of us, right? And that was really weird. That hit home for me because I really didn't think that they were all looking at it like that, right? But you start to see that some of these countries are like, shit, man, if they lose their freedoms, that's probably the beginning of freedoms going away for the rest of the world. And and I think more Americans need to see that. You know what I mean? Like, yo, you do understand that the entire world is going, you guys got to win this. You have to win this. Don't get fatigued. Don't let it like fizzle out. Like, you have to win this.
Yeah, that makes me think of like the reason that Americans are not hearing stuff like that, and how social media plays such a factor in like everyone's world being an echo chamber of the same things being repeated to them, and like I feel like we don't interact with people we don't agree with at all anymore. As a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think I saw a study on this. Like that's
true.
Part of what Facebook and Instagram, like people are happy when they don't hear things that upset them. So things that upset you, things that you don't agree with, they tend to keep off of your timeline. And that's a huge problem. I think part of why there's so much disinformation and people are so stubborn in their views and open to hearing other people's ideas and plights. And I think that's a huge issue that needs to be addressed. How social media plays a factor in this.
Yeah, I think I read that when it really started to pique people's attention was during this last election, because that's what was happening. I remember them saying like Trump supporters were only seeing Trump supporters. Right. And then and like my mom's on Facebook, right? And she's that older generation, and she's not a Trump supporter, and I'll occasionally she'll call and be like, "Yo, did you know that, I don't know, some conspiracy theory," right? And I'm like, no, it's not. I've had to literally teach her what the ads are at the bottom of like a CNN page. You know, like they sell all that
Right.
ad space, and most of it's just clickbait, right?
Yeah.
And I've had to like teach her like how to like find what an ad is, like, and then even if that ad seems like it's saying something you like, you got to see where it's from,
Right.
because if it's not from some credible source, which is so hard now, right? Like, 'cause what the fuck is a credible source anymore? But yeah, dude, I think you're 100% on that. I've definitely I've experienced it. I can see it on social media. You know,
Yeah.
like I can see it on social media that things get filtered out. If you're a Trump supporter, that's all you're seeing, like all day, and it's reinforcing these ideas that you have not even questioned, right? And I feel like America as a whole has forgot about the idea of how healthy it is to question. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but I get it too, though. Like, I'm not criticizing it at all. In fact, I feel like there's a lot of people that are just scared. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It always comes down to that. It's just this overwhelming fear. But again, when I talk about like fundamental changes, these are conversations that we're going to have to eventually we're going to have to stop facing off in front of each other and start having these conversations of like, yo, what is the actual fear? Because if we don't solve that, none of this fucking matters. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, it just doesn't matter if we don't understand what that fear is. Why do you carry that? Why is it generational? Why did your parents think this way? Like, we
Mhm.
have to have those conversations. And bro, I've been to fucking therapy.
Mhm.
That shit is scary as fuck to do. And
Right.
we're expecting a lot of people, many who don't have like the educational tools to even have those thoughts. And we're expecting them to go through some sort of fundamental change. And if we don't start promoting, like, we first of all, do we need people to even understand what fundamental change even means,
Right.
right? A lot of people, but these are the conversations that I think that are so important, man. It's one of the reasons I wanted to have you on the show. It's one of the reasons we brought Crappy Awesome back, because I was sitting here going like, fuck, what can I do, right? And I'm
Mhm.
like, yo, because you know, we have these kind of conversations anyways. Like, this
Right.
is
Right.
how we normally talk to each other. And I was like, yo, that's it. That's it. I don't know how many times I've sat with Dice or Parker or Noah or Curtis, or and we're solving problems all day. We're like, yo,
Right.
this could happen, this could happen. And I'm like, we need to get this information out, because maybe that's all it'll take, right? It'll take somebody going like, oh shit, like this is somebody whose music I like, but they're also like talking way out, they're giving me these ideas I haven't had before. And because we have those ideas all the time, I think it's important that we, one, you know, really build on these ideas. That's what we're doing here, right? We're trying to
Mhm.
build on it. We're giving people some platform to kind of understand the conversations that are happening, but we also need to be promoting these conversations. You know,
Right.
again, there's a lot of people that are at home right now for the first time ever, or
Yeah.
they're at home and they fucking hate being there. You know, so we got to give them some sort of good food, some mental food, you know?
Facts.
Yo, do you think that if you had to like put your money on it, when do you feel, if even if it's gonna happen, like, I mean, you're a touring artist.
Mm.
When do we get back to any of that?
Oh, soon, I hope.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've thought about it. I don't think there's gonna be. I don't see any end to social distancing
Yeah.
in the near future. I feel like we at least have another year of this because every place that opened up early, their cases of COVID, shot up,
Mhm.
and I think if for nothing else, it's going to scare a lot of cities into prolonging and being safer rather than being sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think I don't know. That's the toughest part is admitting that I have no idea. But I feel like at least another year.
Yeah, it's I at Platform Collection, one of the things we've been putting a lot of our attention on, right, is that we know that, I mean, the live component of what we do, right, is so important.
Mhm.
And that connection that we have. I mean, bro, like, I fucking love watching you perform. And but being there in front of you, it's different, man. You know what I mean? Like you feel there's an energy, and you as the artist know like how to wield that energy. Like the thought that I might not be able to see that for a while, like there has to be, whether it's technological or whether it's just a new plan, there has to be some solution there. And that's a lot of what we've been putting our energy in. Like, what is this next thing going to look like? What is like I've seen recently, I've mentioned it before that a lot of these ticket like ticket based companies that sell tickets and are investing money in streaming sites, right? Because they obviously see, I mean, streaming is the answer right now. But there has to be some sort of evolution to that in order for us to still. I can't picture a world, bro, where that energy isn't there, where people can't go to a show and sit there and like just get wrapped up in that energy. Because I've seen it heal.
Mm-hmm.
I see how many people smile after your set, or like, you know what I mean? Like that's obviously doing something, and having a world void of that, I don't think is the answer, right? So we have to kind of figure something out. What was your experience? I just saw you perform live on Instagram Live. What was it like? Like, I haven't done it yet. What's it like?
Yeah, I did a performance as part of a Juneteenth virtual conference that we put together.
Really dope, by the way.
In the Inland Empire. Thank you. Yeah. So that was my first IG live performance, and it's not the same. It's not the same. I felt like there were people, like you said, there were people who want to still see these artists. And I hope that it was, some form of, chicken soup for their soul. But like as an artist, like you said, being able to wield the energy of the crowd, and it's just not the same. But I agree, there has to be something to fill that void. And I think I've seen a lot of people turning to social media in new ways, which I think is super dope. This podcast coming back, I've seen Noah online doing a lot of things.
Yeah.
His Brick TFH doing a music video countdown. That's what I think. I think that'll do in the interim.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the appetizer to keep us in the restaurant.
Yeah.
But hopefully we get that entree soon.
Yeah. As you're saying that, it just fucking hit me right now. It's like, damn, Dice is literally one of the biggest foodies I know. What are you doing right now? Are you doing? Are you ordering out a lot, or like? Because I know that was like something you love to do, finding new spots.
Yeah, I've been cooking a lot, and my wife's learning how to like bake. So we've been tearing it up in the kitchen, doing a little something.
Yeah, y'all need to start streaming that. That's a show written all over it. Dude, movies. You're a movie guy. I definitely wanted to touch on some movies with you. What should I be watching, man? Like, what should I occupy my time with?
It's such a drought right now. Like that shit is
heard that. Parker said that too.
Man, there were like things that I was like waiting like for them to come out. Even like the New Mutants, which is
is there a release date yet?
I think it's been pushed back again. Because they thought theaters would be open. At least here in town, we have like a small triplex, and it's open. But it used to be lines like every day. I haven't seen a line once. So
yeah.
I think they're struggling. And when I passed by, they were playing like Bloodshot, which was supposed to come out at the beginning of this, I think in February.
Yeah.
And like Sonic the Hedgehog. So they're playing movies that were supposed to come out months ago, and then in the meantime have been released through streaming sites. So if you wanted to see it, if you were really trying to see that, you've already seen it. So I think until we see some normalcy come back, like I don't see big studios releasing anything, which is it's tough for those like blockbusters that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing a lot of independent movies get shine that I don't think they would get if there weren't, if more than half of America wasn't sitting at home.
Right. Yeah, that has been something I've noticed as well. Is like I've been telling younger artists as well, like the importance of like still continuing to create art, because I think right now everybody's getting a shot. Like literally everybody. Dude, you know what? I have never gone through more Instagram stories in my life. In the past I'd get like the first 3, cool. Now I'm sitting there like I'm like, damn, I'm 12 pages in. I'm just looking for someone hanging out. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. It's crazy. For me, movie wise, I've been going back and watching a lot of like classic movies that I either haven't seen before or haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah. Like,
Um, I mean, one of them was, Disney Plus is popping, so I'm going back and watching movies from my childhood.
oh wow.
Uh, like I saw Lion King for the first time in like probably like 10 years,
Oh
and that
wow.
was sad. That's not for kids. Mufasa dying is still the spoiler alert. It's sad, man. There was another movie that was equally sad. I can't think of it. Let me think of some other movies that I've been watching.
Oh,
Uh,
hey, dude. First of all, let me tell you this. Was it you that said, I thought I read this on Facebook from you, and I think this is, I know that I checked it out because somebody said this on Facebook, but
hmm,
it was, it's on Netflix. It's, like a zombie survival movie, but it kind of, it's like high school kids. Fuck, what was it
oh, was
called?
it a TV show?
Yeah, it was a series on Netflix.
Damn, I know what you're talking about. I can't think of what it's called though.
It's gonna come to me, but are you looking it up?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And so, dude, it was a sleeper hit, bro. Like, okay, so
yeah. Man,
they promote it like it's like a cheesy, like really like whitewashed zombie show.
yeah,
And then all this social commentary starts coming out in it, like with the black character and like all
yeah,
these different, dude, it was awesome. And then I looked it up and I was like, oh, it's fucking canceled. And I thought I could have sworn you had said, yo, can people please start watching this so we can
yeah,
get a second season? And that's why I
yeah.
watched it. And you were right. It was fucking. We need to find the name of it. Have you found the
Daybreak.
name? Daybreak. Yes,
Yeah.
Daybreak. Yeah, dude, awesome fucking show. That one
Yeah.
was all you.
Yeah, man. There's I've been binge watching different shows. I think one of them that's kind of dope. I think it's a sleeper hit too, but it's already had a second season, but it's a short season.
Uh huh.
Is Kippo? It's made by DreamWorks. It's sort of like an anime. It's sort of aimed at kids. It's got like a hip hop soundtrack. And it's about this post-apocalyptic world. Like
And
these
it's
are
on
like
Netflix.
yeah. It reminds
What's it
me a lot
called?
of
What's it called?
uh, Kippo. I think it's called. It has a long title. It's
Uh huh.
just called Kippo, is what it goes by. But the subtext is the subtitle is Kippo and the World of the Wonder Beasts or something like
Okay, I gotta
that.
write this
But
down.
it gives me like sort of like Afro Samurai vibes because it has
Oh,
the hip
dope.
hop soundtrack behind it, but it's not necessarily a hip hop anime.
Yeah.
Uh, and what I was surprised by is I was watching it the other day. Maybe 4 out of the 5 main characters are people of color, and I think that's kind of like
That's dope.
one. It's dope because it's not pandering because this show was
Yeah.
already created before everything's been going on, and two, I was like, yo, this is like it feels like genuine representation, and I think that's for me at least such a new thing to really be able to see
Yeah.
in different forms of media,
Especially
anime.
especially pop culture.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good one.
Yeah. Let me think. What else? I've been going heavy on alien stuff.
Oh yeah, of course.
What was it? The Search for the Skinwalker on Netflix.
I haven't
Check
seen
that
it.
one out. Add that one to yours. I just put Eddie onto it, and he was like, "Dude, my mind is blown right now." It's
Search for the
about
Squirrel.
yeah, it's about a if you're into like UFO lore, like Skinwalker Ranch is like a ranch out in the wherever the tribe like the Utes are from. I forget where where it's from, but and it was bought by a billionaire, Bob Bigelow, Bigelow Aerospace, which is one of the huge suppliers of um, aerospace stuff for America. And I don't want to give you it away, but just those two things together, like this
Right.
billionaire buying this thing, they call this dude like the real Tony Stark, by the way. Um, but he's a contractor, and he bought this farm, and it's basically it kind of delves into the idea that um like interdimensional, like everything is interdimensional in consciousness. Like what they've been studying on this farm, because for instance, they'd see like traditional poltergeist stuff and UFOs, and then like a big furry purple ball just roll through the. So just check it out. I don't want to give it away.
It's a documentary.
Yeah, it's a documentary, and like the actual cases are like pretty famous in the like UFO community, like Skinwalker Ranches. In fact, I think History Channel is doing a series right now. There's where they moved in like a bunch of scientists there to study the ranch, and like the first season is out right now on History Channel.
That's dope. That sounds dope.
Yeah, so check that one out for everybody who's at home bored.
A good movie I saw was The Platform.
Oh, I heard about that. Right, that's it's like a jail where somebody's on a platform and goes, "Oh, I got to see that, dude."
Man,
was it dope?
The symbolism is crazy. I mean, I feel like the storytelling kind of falls apart, especially towards the end. But the concept and how it's a symbol for society is, I love movies like that. And that the movie is like, it's an amazing, it's a must watch, I'd say. A must watch.
I gotta, yeah, that's gonna be on the list. Yeah, I got it. You're not the first person who's told me that. I've heard that it's pretty dope. And is it foreign film?
Yeah. I believe it's originally in like Spanish, maybe Italian.
Because there's subtitles, right?
Yeah, I usually watch stuff with subtitles.
Yeah, me too. I'm all over it.
Yeah, there's a lot of like little secret stuff that you can catch in the subtitles that you may not be able to hear. And I also think there was a dub, so I watched it subbed and dubbed same time.
Of course you did. Of course you fucking did. Hey man, dude, thank you so much for doing this, bro.
Yeah.
I definitely miss you. I can't wait till we can get out there again, G. Like it's yeah, I'm definitely hurting to get out there. But like I said, man, you're a general, bro. We need you on the field. Please, continue to express yourself the way you do, man. You're very eloquent when you do it. I love your posts. I've seen you shut some people down like really, really quick in person and online.
Right.
But yeah, dude, we need more of that, dude. So please keep doing that.
For sure, man. Thank you. Yes, my pleasure. Thank you for having me. And I definitely feel inspired to keep creating at this point. So
dope, man. That's dope. Yeah, and then as far as Crappy Awesome, I'm fucking re-energized. I'm looking to put another 300 on the board. No problem. So anytime you want to stop in, even if you just want to shoot the shit or you got some cool movies to share with the people, please do that. I'm trying to encourage my friends to do that more often. We've had our stories told on here already. Now it's time to like, I want people to just connect with y'all as people. You know what I mean? Like, and guys, if this is your first time listening to this, first of all, go over to platformcollection.com right now. You can type in King Dice at the top. All his music's going to come up, but also the past episodes, like the prequels to this, are up there. So go check those out first, and then you can kind of get a story. There's definitely a snapshot of my dude's life on this podcast platform. So please go do that. And follow everything King Dice says, right, on Instagram.
Yeah.
And if you're listening to this on YouTube, if you're watching this on YouTube or IGTV, the audio version is always available for you anywhere podcasts are found, Spotify, iTunes, all that good stuff, man. So thank you, dude. And we'll talk soon, man.
Most def.
All right, brother. Much love.
Peace.
All right, man. That was my boy King Dice, dude. What can I say about my G, dude? One of the best people I know. That's facts for sure. And you guys need to go support everything he does. Guys, if this is your first time tuning in to this platform, please, platformcollection.com. Support all the artists we support. We are nothing without them. And we love what we do here, man. So please continue to subscribe, all that good stuff. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time, man. I got a bunch of cool guests coming up. I think you guys are going to like it. So we'll see you next time.